I'm assuming we're live. Hello, hello everyone. My name is Hexaboo, and today with me is Daniel. And wouldn't
Hello.
you know? Wouldn't you know? We're both developers of this thing called the Ardennes 44, which is a DLC to Unity of Command 2, which is a game that presumably you know. We're just gonna chat about things, about the DLC, maybe some other things, for maybe an hour or something, while I play the bloody DLC.
Sounds excellent. And we're 5
So,
days. We're actually not late. We're 5 days early
yes.
because the damn thing started on the 16th of December, which would have been a neat day to release, but it doesn't.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't fall
Oh
into
yeah.
line with release schedules, and it's too close to Christmas and so on. So yeah, so here we are.
Yeah, so like, and sorry about like me starting late because obviously the DLC is already out. Like, so you shouldn't listen, you shouldn't ask things, just go and buy the damn thing, right? So and check it out. And probably like most of our potential audience are probably already doing that, and we probably did not choose the right time to do the stream. but
Well, they can watch it afterwards.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this one unless we say something really, really, really wrong, something that like breaks NDAs and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it non-private for the rest of eternity.
Yes. I'll try to use decent language so we don't break any guidelines or regulations.
Right. And so, by the way, like the reason we're actually late is because I haven't streamed on YouTube in like a year. I think since last stream, since Berlin stream, I haven't streamed on YouTube, and they have changed the UI. And like I thought they needed that I needed to log in OBS in the streaming software. I logged in, and then it turned out that I did not need to log in. And anyway, it was a mess. Now it works. I hope it works. Right, so yeah. So Daniel, while I'm setting up the campaign, like, could you just like share a few words about maybe how this DLC came about? I actually don't remember, so yeah, elucidate me.
Yes, well, it was sort of we were having a whole. We have these DLCs that are named by the year. So what is it? Dawn 42, Citadel 43, and we had a hole in 44, and also this sort of desire to do something with the late war Germans, which can be quite tricky with the Unity of Command system, but still fun if enough effort is put into it. So yeah, that sort of brought about the idea, and then further on, the thought behind it was to make it sort of, well, here comes the real question: how do you make it interesting?
Yeah.
Because to be realistic, the Germans didn't have a snowball's chance in hell. Not in the east, not in the west, not in the south, nowhere. So we came up with this idea to make a sort of and you were along for this also, so you know this, but the historical line, which is supposed to be sort of semi-awful, just to put it bluntly, because the Germans were in a really bloody awful situation at the time.
Like, hopeless.
But then to also have some more fun and free-rolling power fantasy, which is then the alternative line, which is what you primarily worked on. You also did the end in the end in the east.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a disaster, but in a good way. And that's sort of the rough story behind it and the idea with how the whole thing plays.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and let me just go through the cutscene, which is like you are exclusive. You have the exclusive skill of actually making those
Yes.
Cutscenes.
If I die, then we've seen the last of these.
Right.
They're quite clunky to set up, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually not that bad. And later on in the DLC, we probably won't reach that point, but they've become a bit more blingy this time around, if you can use that word.
Well, probably not.
Probably not, but yeah. So we have. Oh yeah, that's the first this time in this DLC. Usually we have only the cutscene in when the campaign starts, but as they are quite time intensive to make, usually there's only that one cutscene or cinematic as we call them. But the game does support having cutscenes at every conference.
Yeah.
And since our ahistorical line is a bit wilder than they usually are, we thought, we should probably do a sort of FYI, like loud and clear FYI that this is gonna be. We're leaving. Let's just say we're leaving history.
Oh yeah, like
if you choose that.
I don't think we have done it much, like having these cinematics between conferences. We usually have just one cinematic
No,
at the
it's never.
beginning and nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. It's never been done before, and actually, we weren't completely 100% sure it worked, because it's something we abandoned developing the base game because of lack of time. Because let's say they take a day to make, but then after that they always take like a week to perfect,
Yeah.
so that they're sort of release quality.
Yeah.
And that, yeah, it just took up too much time for what was added. But this time around, also we used like spent, I don't know, half a year on each DLC, and this time it was a whole year.
Well,
So there
we're
was
not very
time for it.
prompt about it either. Like we're just kind of rather
No,
relaxed.
exactly. So yeah. But anyway, here it is,
Oh yeah.
and I do enjoy it. I admit to having played it a lot, actually, also for fun the last day or so, just making sure that nothing was too awful. But it's quite big as well. How many scenarios
It's
is it? I kind of lost
14.
track at some point.
We
14, right? Yeah.
we actually managed to convince Tom to have a pretty big one. Relatively big one.
Yes, it was. I remember there being a hard limit of 13 scenarios. So.
Yeah, as always.
Uh,
Yeah, like, could you actually talk about like one thing that actually distinguishes this DLC is that a substantial chunk of it is involved actual mapping, because like new maps because it used to be that like in the previous DLCs in Berlin and St. Kursk, I'm not so sure about the previous ones, like obviously in North Africa, like a lot of mapping went there, but like
yeah.
in Berlin and Kursk there were a couple of. Actually, in Berlin, we don't have any special mapping except for the like stuff in Hungary and stuff, right? So, but like any special maps in Kursk, there were two, I think, special maps plus some mapping in like Karelia and Finland. But like special maps, we usually don't have. We usually may have like one mission where there is like unique zoomed in
Yes.
map. And now we have like a zoomed in map for like a third of the DLC. What's that about? Because it's
Well,
your stuff. It's your stuff.
yeah, the big map is the scale of this would simply be boring. We already have a standalone scenario covering the Ardennes, and it works and it's fun. But if you want to have sort of a good chunk of a campaign take place here, you kind of have to zoom in.
Yeah.
Also, because the distances advanced weren't that impressive, at least not compared to the early war or stuff going on in the east. So it sort of, for gameplay reasons, was necessary, and it's always a nice surprise when you start making one of these maps that don't really know if it's going to work, because sometimes the scale may be so off or something. Yeah, something along those lines, so it really doesn't work. But here it just worked perfectly.
Yeah.
And on the one we're playing now, Losheim Gap,
Yeah.
which was the area which was intended as the main point of breakthrough, the Schwerpunkt, for lack of a less poppy word. They sort of semi succeeded in the breakthrough. The problem was they couldn't really follow up. So the spearhead of this 6th Panzer Army, which was the army working here, called Kampfgruppe Piper, and since been talk much about it because it had a lot of cool equipment, basically.
Yeah.
They sort of got off to not a flying start. That would be wrong to say because they were delayed by traffic jams and the infantry breaking through were too slow. But they did get rolling, and then just kept driving and driving and driving and doing horrible things along the way.
Yeah.
But the follow-up units, they got stuck all over the place, and it ended up that I think within a week, the spearhead Piper's unit was cut off and had to destroy all their beautiful King Tiger tanks and just walk back home.
Oh no.
So yeah.
But yeah, that's
So anyway, that's
yeah.
this scenario shows that the initial breakthrough of the northernmost army, the 6th Panzer Army.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's generally like this is what you see with like any kind of German offensive attempts in late war is that you can't win battles without infantry. Like you can have whatever wonderful weird Wunderwaffe kit you can have, it doesn't matter if you don't have infantry.
It doesn't really do anything. Yeah.
Right. So because like
I mean,
yeah.
We always use these, or always, but 9 out of 10 times we use original maps to figure out what went on and to make these scenarios. And the thing that really jumps to your eye watching early and late war German maps is the lack of infantry divisions. Like you'll watch Fall Gelb, you basically, in playing this game, you almost get bored of moving around all this bloody infantry.
Yeah.
Which is coming right after the tanks. And here, late war, it's just there's a decent amount of mobile divisions, and they can make breakthroughs here and there, but then there's no follow up. So
yep. Just blow some shit up. Yeah, but like it's actually this is something that it's surprising. We have like 17 viewers, and you have no questions, people. Come on, I'm interested. Like I have limited numbers of questions. Just give us something. Give us something. We don't know anything. Well, we might actually know something, but we might be happy to share. Right. So but speaking of actually just a comment, offhand comment apropos of nothing. It's like essentially with infantry, as you mentioned, like if you go like into Fall Gelb, like early war, you have like craploads of those infantry division, but like there is a kind of it's actually very appropriate for Barbarossa because like there is kind of this tired stereotype of Red Army like being hordes and everything, and like lots of people like just going somewhere. But like with Barbarossa, it was actually the opposite. The Germans had like insane amounts of people ready to go and fight, and the Red Army was like it was the exact opposite. Like the Wehrmacht was fighting every time it was fighting like a small wave of a bit of Red Army as it was mobilizing. Like actually, that explains like significant losses that the Red Army sustained. It never fought with its full force. Like there were like 4 waves between like summer and winter 1941. At the same time, the Germans like had like crap ton of people that they could expend to push and push and push and push and like take whatever damage they may have taken. Right. So so it really matters a lot.
And the whole sort of mythos of Blitzkrieg, which is the stormtroopers and stuff like that, is very bloody and what do you say, blunt instrument, to put it like, I think, a blunt instrument, I would call it.
Yeah.
It's very casualty heavy, the breakthrough usually, and very cynical. And then comes the whole, I mean, there were differences, of course, but there were also a lot of similarities between how the Germans and Soviets, their doctrines, in fact, because the sort of the finesse or whatever of the breakthrough. Lots of artillery, lots of infantry.
Yeah. That's still what decides things. So yeah,
you need guns and men. And it's a bit boring.
yeah. Little Gunstick has a question there.
Yep. Let's see. What pushed the decision of what was mentioned about the scenario chart going the ways to Spain? Well, like I said, the whole the late war Germans were in an impossible decision. So quite early on, we thought it's silly if we just do a Fallgelb 2.0, succeeding in the Ardennes and then getting to Antwerp and God knows what. So we preferred to have this sort of clear split between historical and ahistorical, where the historical line is very challenging and you're short of most things, and it's
Yeah, historical is going is proper historical. Sorry.
Yes. But then again, if the whole DLC is like that, it's maybe a bit much.
No.
Not a relaxing experience. So yeah, the old line became this sort of crazy free what do you call it? Free roaming sort of thing. And why we ended up all the way in Spain is a funny story, because we had a couple of years ago a map maker called Michael. Hi, Michael, if you see this. And he, during his let's call it onboarding training, was doing a bit of Portugal just to get used to our software. And then I can't remember when or who, but somebody remembered and saw that, hey, a bit of Portugal is mapped. What if we sort of just finish it up and then go down there for a scenario? Why not? Because again, the alt line is delightfully insane. So
yeah, so pretty much also because this is kind of not really secret information. Like at some point, we had some motivation, let's put it that way, to actually tie the alternative history branch of the campaign with the upcoming 2x2 game that we cannot talk about beyond what has been said.
First rule of new game.
Yeah.
So yes, there might be a slight tie-in there. But there, I'm actually not even sure how much we're allowed to say.
I think,
except there is a new game. Tom's wrote there's a new game, so we can say there's a new game.
yeah. But I think he mentioned in the Ardennes in the press release that he said that like there's going to be it is going to be not going to be Unity of Command 3. And I'm
also that, yes.
I'm somewhat happy about that.
Yes, me too. I'm looking forward to making it, but it's nice to have a break from that. It's been a lot of years.
Yeah.
many years.
Plus, it's like we definitely have had like we occasionally like I certainly do occasionally share ideas about what we can make what we can make actually better in Unity of Command 3, right? So hello.
Yep, I think
it's fine. Is it fine?
Right, yep, I hear you now.
Okay, nice. So, like, obviously we share ideas, like, because we are aware of the weaknesses of Unity of Command 2. There are many, right? So, and we can talk about those. But, yes, and obviously we talk about, how can we improve it? Because, for example, one of the things that, like, probably there's no reason to actually hide is that, like, the campaign mode in general is kind of a literally slapped on thing, right? So something that was added at the latest moment, and that like has problems.
It's just a bit clunky. It's just a bit clunky. More.
Yeah, it's clunky.
It was lack of manpower. It's so it's workable, but we're not happy with it.
Yeah. And by the way, someone asked about the Blitzkrieg card. By the way, there was a question about Blitzkrieg cards. Are they in the shop? Because I did not participate in the shop this time, so I don't know.
Yes, they are. They are in the shop.
Okay.
And they are very powerful in this DLC because there are, in most cases, one or max. I think there was one conference with 3 scenarios, but a lot of them just have 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And since it's a persistent card, it really jumps in value. Also, you're using a lot of command points in this DLC.
Yeah.
Or at least you want to. So
I
they're
actually ended up using it occasionally. You actually get a crap load of them, of those cards. You actually don't need to buy them. I found, but I'm gonna use them. I'm gonna use it right now. The one I got, because they're persistent. It is persistent. So I think there are like 2 or 3 of those. You like shoved 2 or 3 of those into the Ardennes proper. So like at some points, like I was testing the campaign, and it just ended up with like a whole hand of these Blitzkrieg cards.
Actually, I only have one. It must have been Frank's scenarios.
Maybe Frank's scenario then. Like it's
and also
like.
because it's persistent. So
Because I don't particularly, I know it's powerful, but I don't particularly like it. So
No?
I don't
Oh,
like
I
it as
love it.
much. I don't like it as much as some other cards. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, and I usually don't use it that much. So it's a cool idea. It's a cool thing, but like I just like I don't know. Maybe I'm conservative that way. But like I just don't use it that much. But eventually, sometimes it can give you a little edge. I can concede in this campaign at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of these where I need to, because you have bad supply, and you also want to be using a lot of elastic defense and counterattack. Sorry, elastic defense and rear guard.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, you run out of command points, and then it's a real. To me, it feels really good using them, but it's matter of taste.
Yeah.
Oh, we have questions. Let's see. Somebody said Cold War. No. We didn't say what the new game is about.
No, we did not say that.
Let's see. Will there be
if I can tell you, if you buy the Ardennes and you carefully read the dispatches and the mission briefings for the alternative history scenarios, you will get a pretty strong vibe of what the new game is going to be about, roughly. Yes. Because we don't know very well ourselves.
No, nothing is set in stone now. So
yeah, nothing
even
is set
if we did spill something, it probably will
yeah.
change. So yeah. Will there be a Pacific or Spanish Civil War? Oh, I would love to do a Pacific, but that really needs a new game and a new campaign system, and there's so many things going on there with naval and.
I have a strong opinion about that.
Yeah, I have strong opinions too, but and then there's Spanish Civil War. I'm not super into it, but I know a lot of people are.
With Pacific.
So if you were asking me in a dream world, yes, there would be some Pacific shit going on. Not so much Spanish Civil War, but that's just me.
With Pacific, I can tell you why. Okay, this is not the official stance of 2x2, right? So I can tell you, as someone who actually has done like 3 DLCs at this point for Unity of Command 2, I can tell you that Pacific is not going to happen. It's not going to happen, right? Because it's like a crap ton of assets. Right, so we don't have any Japanese, we don't have any Chinese. We probably will have to create new American and other Western Allied troops specifically for this new theater. Right, so that is already a crap ton of work. Right, so and the worst of all, mapping. Because the problem of the Pacific is that, save for a few theaters areas, you generally don't have any areas where you can have multiple missions, right? So many battles, right? So most of them will be zoomed in map. It's not even about the scale. It's fine. We can actually do smaller scale with this system. There are problems with it, but like it's generally fine, right? So, but it's about like having a map, making a new map for effectively every mission out there, right? So, and it's just a non-starter, pretty much. And
as a DLC, it's an absolute non-starter. No, it would have to be a new game.
Oh yeah.
Because so many new systems, or at least quite a few, would be needed. And yes, as you say, assets, mapping.
Yeah, and we're not getting these.
Yeah. So it's sort of I have hope for it in the future, but it is a whole new game. So we'll see. But nothing is planned along those lines.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are there any plans for Unity of Command 2, new expansions and such? No, currently no. Berlin was actually kind of supposed to be the last DLC for a while.
We actually had to convince Tom, the big guy, to actually do this
Yeah.
one. So
Yes, so and now his stance is never say never, but there's nothing planned to answer your question.
So the answer is buy Ardennes. So right now I can tell you, like, I don't think I'm actually breaking any NDAs to say that the 2x2, that the team is the priority for 2x, definitely for Tom, is the new game. It's the new game. So if there is an excuse, and I know that I will participate in making the new game, I'm sure Dan will participate as well. So we're probably gonna start next year, right? So already signed my documents and everything. So and so like, this is the priority, and like, we are going to be used to make the new game too, right? So so like, if there is any excuse for Tom not to let us make a new DLC for Unity of Command 2, he will use it. So if you buy the new DLC, if you buy the Ardennes, we'll actually have more weapons against Tom in convincing him to allow us to make another DLC for Unity of Command 2 as a sort of a side hustle, maybe like next December or something like that. But that might happen.
Yes. We'll do a yearly winter DLC. But yes, in the end, it is a company, so, you know, sales speak.
Yeah.
So absolutely, buy it, and then there'll be more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you said, absolutely, the new game is a priority. I've been sort of going back and forth. Not the last month, I've primarily been doing the DLC. But before then and from now on, once everything has cooled down, then it's the new game. And I can't wait to be able to talk more freely about that. But for now it's just called new game.
Yeah. Oh, I think I cracked the mission. Have you made Lost Time easy?
Lost Time easy. Are you playing on classic or hard?
Hard.
Hard. Okay.
Oh no, you haven't. Oh, you haven't. You haven't made it easy.
No. You're gonna run into a elite paratrooper in Verbomo. No, I think.
I hate it.
Let's see.
Yeah,
let's see.
Like, he's there. Okay, I'll probably be able to deal with him.
He's there
next turn. Still have time. But yeah,
you didn't buy the Hummel. You need to buy the Hummel for the forest, my friend.
What?
You must buy the Hummel, the artillery.
No.
I can give this as a tip to people who are going to play this: is the mobile artillery is worth its weight in gold, because there's a lot of forest, there's a lot of mud, there's a lot of rivers, and those armor shifts don't mean anything.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is the new game gonna be strategy or something complete? No, it's gonna be using the Unity of Command 2 system, and by system I mean the
combat system.
Combat system,
more or less.
More or less, exactly. There's gonna be a lot of alterations and improvements and such, but the basic system, just like Unity of Command was a sort of how would you say, not iteration, but building off of Unity of Command 1, this new game is going to be building off Unity of Command 2.
I mean, I can tell you, like, for example, look at the combat prediction chart on the right now, right? So you have you've got this infantry unit that has 3 attack per step, right? It's got 4 steps. Now it has 12 attack plus some stuff for like 4 attack from the artillery as a specialist, plus maybe some shifts. This sort of system will be there. Right, so this, like, the bare bones of the system will be there. I don't think we are breaking any NDAs saying that. Yes, because it's a good system.
It's very solid. Yeah. It's also what we talked about earlier with zooming in and zooming out. It's really a robust system. Also, the fact that it works for every single theater of the European conflict without breaking ever is sort of Yeah, kudos to Tom for designing it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I'll have to take some
Unity of Command
losses.
Red Storm Rising would be cool. Yes, yes, it would. Oh, hi, Graham. Graham is in the chat.
And I'm not gonna take it, am I?
Let's see. You. No. Computer says no.
No.
Ah, leave it.
Screw it. I'm not gonna restart. I'm just gonna say it just maybe. And I sustained all those losses, and the Piper is now screwed. I probably should. Screw it.
Screw it.
Right, so Verbermont is like the worst of the worst. Yes, yes. You
Verbermont
have to.
is there to make life miserable for completionists. Let's
Yes.
just
I
say
can
it like it
realize
is.
that. I can realize that. Yeah, I've got the F8 button, but I'm not gonna use it.
No.
I've already kind
Any
of
hints
showed
on
off
what-
some things from the developer version because I forgot to switch off God mode, and now people know about God
Yeah,
mode.
I saw that in the beginning, but I was like, what the hell? But it's interesting because a lot of many people, actually including Tom at one point, he asked me if is the fog of war like, do we really need? Is it doing anything? Do we really need it? And oh boy, you do, because if once you remove the fog of war, even if you can't see the AI what it's doing all the time, things become so much less scary. You're so much more brave with your spearheads and stuff like that, and yeah, no, it really makes a difference.
Absolutely. Oh, come on.
Any hints on what the new game could be? No. Then you're gonna have to follow Tom. I mean, Tom is chomping at the bit to say more. I know, but so that'll come at some point, but I can't say when.
Right. And by the way, speaking of Spanish Civil War, like as a potential topic, right, for the new DLC, we have a couple of new ideas. I really don't want to share all of them, but I think like Spanish Civil War is like the second most common thing mentioned generally, like among on the forums,
I think it's
on Discord after Pacific. Pacific is not going to happen. I don't think so. Right? So
no. As a DLC, absolutely
not.
not.
Like we could make it like if we, for example, we had unlimited supply of artists, of map makers, right? So if we could do that, like even with the like limited naval mechanics in Unity of Command, we're not gonna have any new mechanics in this game, like full stop, right? So because it's already like a Rube Goldberg machine, right? So like it's just gonna fall apart. We are actually lucky that this DLC is the way it is. Like it has all of these like weird twists and everything because we had some problems setting up the campaign, right? So and thankfully. Like our programmer actually gave us some blessings, right? So because we did not deserve it.
No, but he was by the end. He was like, oh, he put in a hack. Then the hack broke something. Then it was, hack upon hack upon House of Cards, and in the end, it's like, okay, we're stopping now. While everything works.
But yeah, I kind of mentioned.
But it's always these small, unpredictable things that break.
Yeah. Oh, come.
Because stuff like I don't know, having the mid campaign cinematics, which is quite a big thing, you'd think. Yeah. Oh no, it was simple, worked. That's fine. But then we had a situation where we added a new army in the historical track that's not in the ahistorical track.
Yeah. Oh God.
Which on the surface should be simple, but oh boy, it wasn't.
That was a disaster. Why did I start with this? It's like the Spanish Civil War, right? So we have a few ideas for DLCs. Like one idea I would love to make. It's really interesting. It's not much covered anywhere. It's pretty prominent. The other side is covered a lot. But
I know what's coming now.
Like Dan knows what I'm talking about. Like I'd love to do it, and maybe I should just say it. But like I'd love to do it, like there is no but. Yeah, but with Spanish Civil War, it's like the second thing. I think someone mentioned the idea somewhere on the forums or Discord, but Spanish Civil War is the second thing that people generally tend to mention. And while we don't have a map of almost or any of Spain, right? So we have bits. Actually, I have made like some bits of Spain, like preparing the Portugal mission because I did it, right? So and I found that mapping is not that crazily difficult. So generally, so it's actually doable at
try
least.
it inland.
It's actually doable at least.
Try inland.
No. Right, so, but like the thing is, like with Spain, with Spanish Civil War, you make Spain, first, it's not that big. It's big, but not that big, right? So plus, then you can have like multiple scenarios in simple areas. For example, you have multiple battles during the Civil War around Madrid, for example. Yeah, and you can have like all sorts of things there, right? So plus, you can, once you have this limitation of geography, right? So you can imagine potential scenarios. What if Republicans win, right? So if you have like an alternative history like branch where Republicans win, you can actually reuse those sections of the map for different scenarios. That's much more feasible, right? So like essentially right now, if we have any new campaigns, okay, Spanish Civil War is not the best example. Ideally, it's something that uses existing assets, existing maps, existing units. Like I mean, like graphics, because we can create new units like with new setting, not setting specs and everything. So like that we can create with
It's
these.
simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like new graphics and stuff, like that's generally a no. We can't get it.
Yes, absolutely. And I would, again, Spanish Civil War, I'm not super sort of, it's not something that historically interests me, which is usually the how would you say, the most enjoyable things to make.
Yeah.
Or actually also sometimes the most frustrating things to make because the more you know something is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sometimes like it's generally
but again,
like, yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that thought because like I found it like I'm not very like super hugely familiar with like especially like late war Western Front and yeah, so it kind of was easier to actually make scenarios than when like you made like in Berlin and Kursk, because you like I know a lot more about those, and so it's like you have to make it like there's much more pressure to make it correct, right? So and I can agree with that.
Yes. Also now you see the Diekirch thing, Diekirch is happening.
Yeah, I'm doing
That
it well.
only happens.
I'm doing it well.
It only happens on hard now. It only happens on hard now.
Okay. Okay. Do I? Okay. And I think like we speaking of
well, you have a good set piece there.
What do you mean? Yeah, I had a good set piece, but I don't have a good unit to actually send Diekirch or Diekirch. Right, so it's like not.
They won't say it's in ruins. It's turned to ruins.
Oh,
so
it's ruined. Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's good. It's good. I'm good there. Yeah, because like I don't have good supply because I wanted to improve my supply.
The bridge. Hans, where's the pioneers? The bridge is down.
And by the way, I think like you added the forest. You added the forest in the air because it used to be like flat, but looked like a forest.
Yeah, it was a terrain mistake. One of the beta tester reminded me or pointed it out.
Yeah. Because there were a bunch of mistakes. There was something even like on the base map, I think we found, in addition to Portugal.
Yes, because
Portugal was full of mistakes.
Yes, because
it was a test.
Portugal was never intended to be used, so we never really fixed it up. And then we have a special map of Britain, which I won't spoil why it's special.
Yeah.
Which also had a lot of errors on it. So a lot of stuff has been fixed up, and it's mostly because it's areas of the map like down by Bordeaux. Yeah.
Forgot about it.
Uh,
Yeah. Please
but yeah, no,
continue
the
on.
area around Bordeaux wasn't used in the base game, so we never really went over it with the
Yeah.
fine comb.
Yeah.
Oh
Parts
my
of it
god, command
actually, I
point.
think like parts of like the impetus for like creating like the alternative history scenario was kind of using the unused bits. Because like
Hmm.
it's like one is Portugal, but also actually we also had to convince Tom to actually allow us to have a Portugal scenario too. Don't think that Tom is like a force of evil here, but like generally we had to convince him. Right, so
Yeah.
it may sound like that, but no. But like yeah, it's like we're kind of reusing or like using for the first time but like bits of maps because it's Portugal. South of France was not very much covered as like just Dragoon, and which
Hmm.
at least I personally don't particularly like. Right, so and nothing
Oh, it's a
else.
horrible scenario.
It's not the best of scenarios, and people still have problems with
And it's
it.
so yes, and it's so close to being good. It's one of those that I would, in a different universe, would really love to go back and rework now, but no.
Yeah, yeah,
No time for that. Because it had so much potential, and just got a little bit too rough edges.
yeah. Well, it's a bit like when people say, "Oh, this game is a puzzle." Yeah, Dragoon is kind of puzzly. Yes, you can
Dragoon,
actually,
yeah, Dragoon
yeah,
is.
like you need to do
Mm.
things right there too much
Yeah, yeah,
to succeed.
absolutely agree. But on the other hand, it is almost one of the only scenarios that is a puzzle,
Yeah.
um,
Oh
or at least
no.
has so many elements that has to be done in a certain way that it can be called a puzzle. You can always go in with 5 cards and change everything, but that's asking a bit much. Oops. Oh dear.
Yeah, they killed it.
Oh dear. Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, that was my
I
mistake. That was my punishment for
too,
actually not building
yeah.
that bridge or repairing it rather.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's see if he can. No. Let's see. It's kind of. You can feint that guy out.
Yes. I'm gonna just. Yeah, it's already gonna falling apart. I probably shouldn't have done that. Anyway.
It's feint time.
Just. Oh, nice. He died.
Mm.
And there's no one here. Of course there's someone there. Right, so. But yeah, this playthrough is not great. Not great at all.
There we go.
No.
There is someone there. Yeah. But he's not dug in.
But the problem is that like this is not even like the bit of the mission that I failed in, Dikirch, is not even the
Yeah.
hardest one, not the most difficult bit of the mission. At least it used to be like, ooh, what's that?
Hopefully,
Yes, La
it's not
Roche is
empty. Maybe La
empty.
Roche is empty. Could be that La Roche is empty.
Okay, let me just
But
send
maybe he blew
everywhere
the
there.
bridge. The
Okay,
label is blocking the. Oh, it was empty.
what was it there? Oh, I see. I see. I just didn't have enough movement points there. Right, so let me see what I get.
Interesting to see that you are far more prepared to take casualties in order to seize an objective than I am. Probably why you're a better player. No, I think it's more to do with streaming right now, to be honest. I'm
Generally,
not sure.
I find that people are like it has to do with streaming. I mean, like what has to do with streaming is me not repairing this stupid bridge.
Yeah,
That's what has to
yeah,
do with streaming because like it's the basic thing you have to do here, pretty
yeah,
much, right? So because like if you don't do it, like you have a much harder time, like I do right now. But generally,
yeah.
I found that like. Being ready to take losses and being a lot more aggressive that you like being very aggressive with your attacks and everything
Yes.
generally is what separates like an okay player from a good player.
Yeah. Yeah, the casualty management, like
Yeah,
being like, oh, I'm gonna lose this engineer to do whatever, and then just doing it. Um, but also not, of course, not running your head into a wall. That
yeah.
doesn't
Well,
help
sometimes you do, but like
most situations. Um, yeah, if it's one of those where the units don't carry over much, then it can, of course, be a viable strategy. But mm. Let's see, which turn are we on now?
Turn 4. And I already.
As
Oh, I
much
forgot about
as I
worlds.
like-
I forgot about worlds. Damn it.
Oh dear.
But
As much as I like Unity Command 2.
Right.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you go ahead. Like I did not have a clever
No.
comment there.
No, it's just a question here. As much as I like Unity Command 2, sometimes the game feels more like a puzzle. How do you deal with that? Oh, but that's such a very good question. And if we had a definitive answer, then we would all be much richer.
Probably not.
Because every game, you talked about this in one of your other videos, I know, that every game is essentially on a puzzle scale.
Yeah, kind of, yes.
So you have stuff like Tetris, which is a puzzle. And then you have even
Actually, Tetris
games
is
like
not, generally.
yeah. But anyway, pick
But
your
there
poison.
are actual
Some really
puzzles where
puzzly
people
games.
actually expect you find a solution.
And I mean, even games like Paradox games, they have some things where if you do this, then that happens, then that happens, and that happens, and in the end, that's a puzzle. Even though everything is so free around this puzzle, so it's all on a sort of spectrum. And yeah, how do you deal with it? Well, you try to make these holes essentially, so that things aren't too puzzly. Then again, a lot of the time, it also depends on using all the mechanics available. And at the same time, making sure it's not a chore or annoying and yeah, it's all kind of tricky. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'd say one thing, I'd say 90% of people who complain about it, and like I'm not talking about you, Ziki Shab, right? So I'm not like making a personal attack here. Like a lot of people who complain about this game being a puzzle are scrubs, right? So people who are not very good. Generally, because like you have essentially your choices, your ability to actually make interesting decisions in this game. It may be a problem with this game to an extent. Your ability to make interesting decisions depends very much on you knowing the mechanics. If you know the mechanics, right, so it opens up a lot of opportunities for you to actually shape the battle the way you like it. Right, so sometimes it actually opens up, because for a lot of people, like there are many games. I'm not going to name any specific war games. There are plenty of those war games, which are fun games, but games that like pretty much allow you to faff about, right? So to the time limits are either not there or are very loose, and you can actually enjoy your like miniature play, right? So like playing with all your tigers and whatnots, right? So but. And there is a place to that. Once again, I'm not shitting on people who like that, right? So it's fine to like that, and like there is a place for that.
I love it myself.
yeah. I probably myself like it a lot less than I used to. Let's put it this way. But like it's fine. But there is a place to games like Unity of Command where you have to know how things work in order to actually wield that power, right? So where you have like very strict challenges, and you actually have to know the game to play it well, right? So there is no one solution, even though, to be honest, like when I design a scenario, right? So I don't like, okay, so generally if it's a historical scenario, I make sure that it's like it can be completed and succeeded in historical manner. That's definitely true.
Same philosophy here.
Yeah, it has to be like that, in my opinion. And so it's definitely true with Kursk and Berlin. If you want to learn the history of the Soviet German front, like in summer 43 till the end of the war, you can actually play the game, because like the orders of battle, like the arrangements of troops are all based on contemporary like military documents, and like everything is made sure that like the actual operations work as they did, right? So, and it's easy because like most of those operations were highly successful, right? So, and like, yeah, you can do it. So you don't have to invent much. But we actually make sure that like those approaches actually work. So if you look up something on Wikipedia, wherever you can, right? So you'll find it like like those approaches. Oh, you break through there, you advance there. It works. I made sure of that. But otherwise, I don't specifically look forward to. Oh, you have to go there. You have to like repair this bridge. You have to set up a bridge. Maybe there is an element of that sometimes. Generally, like especially if, like the historical, once again, the historical scenario, kind of the historical situation kind of requires that, but I don't specifically like look for like making the player, oh, you have to do this or you die or you're screwed. I hate you. No, it's not like that, right? So so generally, like in making the scenarios, I generally there is some element of like finding like not really one solution, but at least one solution if you play on hard. So for generally, like I did not do it like that in Kursk. I don't know how you do it, Dan. It's in Kursk. I tested everything on hard, right? So which resulted in my scenarios at least being too easy, right? So in Berlin and in the Ardennes, I tested everything basically on classic. Right, so just to like so that I see that it's loose, it's fine, it plays the way it should play roughly, and it's not too does not kill me right too much, right? So and then I tested on hard to make sure that it can be overcome, right? So somehow, right? So like generally hard is playable, is doable. And so it may be a bit more puzzly on hard because of the extreme challenge, right? So because we did not check, maybe there are some ideas you might try and find, and you're very much welcome to find those ideas that will actually like blow up the scenario, and you can actually do it in some other ways on hard. You're welcome to, right? And the system allows that, right? So it's not a puzzle after all. But we only found one, or I've only found one solution because I have limited time and I cannot do everything, right? So it's a matter of that. Yeah.
No, it's kind of the same. I usually go on hard, design on hard, and then it usually turns out to be the right difficulty. By doing that, but that's sort of a people all have different experiences with that, I would say. But it's more about, yes, it should be possible on hard. Hard is not like it's designed to be the biggest challenge essentially. So hard should be hard, and it is. But even on hard, there's usually a multitude of ways you can do it, even without cards. And then once you put in cards and that your units have carried over and they might be a bit stronger than the standalone scenario, then even more opportunities open up. And again, there's so many tools available that there's just always a multitude of possibilities, with the exception of Dragoon. But even there, let's say you have 2 paratrooper cards in Dragoon, suddenly it's really easy if you use those.
I'm not sure if actually it's doable without like 1 or 2 paratrooper cards, like on
Oh
hard.
no, it's doable.
100%.
It's awful.
Okay,
it's doable. It's just awful.
Okay. I actually see that there's an interesting question there in the chat.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you guys think? Oh, you're gonna love this one. Do you guys think a 1940 Battle of France Allied campaign would be possible to make? You're not having a ghost account here, are you?
No.
Yes. Well, I know someone who thinks it is.
Yeah.
Actually, you can talk about that. I need to take a quick pee break, but I'll be right back.
All right. So since someone's actually asked this, this is not very much a secret. I believe that like 1940 France/Benelux, playing as France/Benelux countries, has a lot of potential as a possible scenario, as a possible DLC for this game. I would love to do it, right? So it's like the maps are all there. We might actually need to create like zoomed in maps like for the Ardennes, but not a lot. We might need to create some graphics, but not a lot. Once again, we have the French Benelux country graphics. Most of them exist, like mechanized tank units, infantry units. All of that stuff is already kind of in the game. And yeah, we just need to create the scenarios. It's very, very possible. There is like a fair amount of potential for alternative scenarios because, yes, France lost. Benelux countries lost, right? So you can create some sort of interesting stuff there. So yeah, there's a lot of potential. I personally don't know too much about, like, definitely the French side of the French / Benelux side of those of that campaign. So it would be interesting to actually research it. So I would love to do it. I would love to do it. Spanish Civil, actually, I would love to do it much, like, not much more, but more than Spanish Civil War. Also because it would be so much easier, actually, like in terms of assets and stuff, because like most of it is already in the game. So it's a thing that is much more likely to happen. Let's put it this way. So yes, France, 1940. Also, video games don't cover this topic much in general, so it's something that would be a lot of fun, and it would be really nice to actually have in the Unity of Command franchise. Let's put it this way. Right, so Ziki says, my experience is that some missions feel like puzzles since they require certain moves or certain turns. This combined with sometimes unpredictable AI can make some missions. Yes, once again, like, I can agree, there are some missions, generally, most of them concentrated around... Yeah, I already talked about, like, all of the wonderful potential of France 1940. Like, because, like, it's not a lot of work, and we can actually make it work in interesting ways. Without, like, investing... Oh, come on, and... Oh, damn, I made a mistake. And I made a mistake.
Take the airstrike.
This game is a puzzle. No, I moved in the wrong direction, and now I cannot undo. Yes. Yes, so...
Mind Spirit?
It's like...
Sorry, no, I was just taking the next thing in chat.
Oh. And I can't do this. Damn. This is so stupid.
No, there's no road there.
I hate snow and forest. It's like the worst. And I'm not doing
Yeah, that
really
was
well
also... there's one learning curve in this DLC, which is snow and forest.
Yeah.
That artillery is really king. And once people dig in and fortify, then it really is tough to break through.
Yeah, like, it's very difficult to move around in. It's like, sometimes you get nasty surprises.
But
Yeah.
let's see here. My experience is that some missions feel like puzzles since they require certain moves and certain turns. This combined with sometimes unpredictable AI can make some missions very frustrating. Yes, we are aware of the frustration factor, and we do our best to avoid it. We mentioned Dragoon as a good example of when I failed in that. Although a lot of times there will also be several maybe not obvious things that one can do. It's sort of like in the beginning when you're just learning the game as playing Victor in the West, and you use what's it called, suppressive fire a lot. Because, you know, if units are in the open and you have a lot of artillery like the Allies do, Western Allies, well, also Soviets, well, then it's very effective. But once you reach the mountains in Italy, suddenly it's kind of useless. And at that stage, you really have to learn about set-piece attacks. And then eventually, after set-piece attacks, people start noticing, oh, this feint thing, which seems rather weak, is actually super powerful because it's a guaranteed result. So you can knock people out of really difficult terrain and fortifications, basically without taking any casualties. And then there's all the different cards and other things you can do. And what I'm trying to say is there's so many tools at one's disposal to break apart mostly anything. And then there's the eternal discussion about time limitations, which is also a tricky thing because to me, games without time limitations are kind of pointless. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, I can enjoy them, but each game is essentially different genres because one is, as you put it, but one is faffing about, which
Yeah.
can be really enjoyable. But it's personally, I enjoy these games more where there's some time pressure because historically people dealt with the time pressure. That was a huge part of the problem for officers on all levels, basically.
And it's also like one of the elements like of like time limits is that AI sucks. AI is
Yeah.
not a human, right? So
Oh
somehow we
no.
need to create like even like with the AI that Unity of Command 2 has, which has problems. Like for example, it's very difficult to make the AI retreat. Pretty much you can't do it, really, right? So like it's one of the things that we would love to have in Unity of Command 3. Like let's say making the AI retreat very easily or on command. Like now you can't do it. Like now, like it's very difficult
No.
to like make the AI understand that there are encirclements and stuff, right? So or terrible supply, but the AI overall, beyond that, beside that, right? So the AI is stupid. It's not a human that constantly is not stupider than you, is constantly working against you, like doing everything to screw you over, right? So you cannot have that in a P versus E game, right? So player versus environment. You can have it in PvP games, absolutely, and you have like lots of toxicity there, but like that's beside the point once again. But the thing is, if we cannot have that with AI, we need to have some other mechanical tools to make to create a similar experience, right? So and
Yes.
turn limits are one of those ways because your enemy is not going to wait for you, right? So you have your objectives, you have your goals that you have to perform, right? Your commander has told you, oh, you have to do this and that, right? So your enemy is not going to wait for you to actually take it eventually, right? So it's going to actively do things to prevent you from doing that. And since we cannot like perfectly simulate a human, right? So we actually create the challenge through other means, right? So make it like tighter deadlines for you to actually think about how to destroy the enemy in the most devastating way possible, because that's the name of the game, effectively, right? So like achieve your goals in the most devastating and most convincing, decisive way possible. That you have to do it. That's kind of the absence of faffing about, and that's how it actually really is supposed to happen in real life, right? So
Absolutely. And sort of actually a good example would be the aforementioned Kampfgruppe Piper, that he was under a strict damn timetable, and he even took out a Panther tank. I can't remember. Let's say a week or a few nights before the offensive, and drove it on small roads for I can't remember. Let's say, well, it was the distance to Antwerp for like 100 kilometers, just to see if it was possible. Like, what is the quickest speed achievable in this tank on these kind of roads? Is this even possible? Because again, they had a set timetable. This is the time you have. These are the units that are going to be available. Go, go achieve.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and a red specialist.
Oh yes, we have like actually I saw a couple of
We
those
could
red
touch on
specialists.
those.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you'd like to like just discuss those, because like
So
kind of the way
yeah.
partly your rides, yeah.
Yeah, no, while I had a year's hiatus sort of while you guys were making the Berlin DLC, and there you added some red specialists
Oh, we did, yeah.
for the Eastern miners, let's call them that,
Yeah.
minor nations, allies. And while thinking about this, I thought, oh, I am a recovering wearaboo, and this gives us a chance to to add some sort of some of that sexy late war German material in units. And then I actually ended up on units. I was like, oh, let's add some historical units um, and make them slightly overpowered to add a sort of element of role play to the whole thing. And also, it's always fun when you have these couple of units that are more powerful than the others. It adds a fun dimension when you're planning what to do,
Yeah.
in my opinion, at least. So we have, for instance, we have the 150th Panzer Brigade, which was a unit that was, well, it was supposed to be equipped with captured Allied equipment and be sort of the sneaky unit leading the charge and confusing the Americans. It wasn't super successful, so the stats are kind of low on it. But it is unique because it's a recon unit, but it also has the Special Forces flag, which means that it ignores one level of entrenchment and lowers your casualties a little bit. Because you're having these sneaky Germans with no accents running around the American lines.
Yeah. I think I can show it actually because I lost it.
Yeah, well,
Trying
it's
to take
it's not it's not even that fragile. That's another thing about it. It's not first in the loss queue. So
well, unless you try to storm elite paratroopers in a town, so with your tanks. So yeah, like this is the thing that Dan is talking about. So it's got like reconnaissance, and it does have special forces, right? So tag. Yep. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. But we have also, I think someone mentioned this maybe on Discord. By the way, there is a semi-official, pretty much unofficial Discord server out there, so where people actually occasionally discuss things. And this was one of those things. This Einheitsstilau, right? So which has like what? One attack, one defense, and it has special forces tag. What's that about?
That was also one of these part of this sort of ruse that we're attempting to use in the Ardennes, but these were dropped by parachute, and were again supposed to point road signs the wrong direction, be wearing American uniforms, etc., etc. The whole thing ended up being kind of a disaster.
Yeah,
it didn't really work. There was not enough well-trained people, not enough people that spoke good English, etc., etc. Not enough planes, bad weather, you name it. But it did the thing about these 150th Panzer Brigade and Einheitsstilau is that although they failed on paper, they did kind of succeed because they did create a panic in the Allied lines of everybody was seeing ghosts everywhere. You're like, oh my God, is this military policeman actually a German?
Yeah.
And they started asking each other's questions that only Americans would know, like which team won the World Series in 1942 or whatever.
No, what ice cream doesn't fall out if you flip it over?
Exactly. Stuff like that. So, yeah.
But yeah, the thing is,
so yeah, like, we have some of those.
Oh. Go ahead.
No, it's just the red specs. We have there's a whole bunch of those, and they all have their little unique ways of being very powerful, or at least very historically entertaining.
But let's put it this way also. Like despite like that unit, that spec having one attack and one defense, that special forces attack is incredibly powerful. If you don't know, so like because it like I think it nullifies certain defenses, but it also reduces losses. It reduces losses.
Yes, and you can also make feints across rivers.
Oh yeah.
I think nobody knows this. So it has
don't even use it.
Good bunch of uses. No, I'd forgotten about it. I just remembered actually while making this DLC. At first I thought it was a bug, and then I remembered, oh wait, that's a rule. What would you improve in combat in potential Unity of Command 3? Oh.
Lots of things.
Why don't you answer that?
Damn, it's kind of tough to say. In combat, generally, like make it more transparent. Because and there are some ideas that actually kind of being floated around, like just to make, because like there are a bunch of mechanics that turn these things, because I know for a fact that many people, like many new players who like look at these things and they just don't have a bloody clue what this means and where this goes in and how it affects your combat predictions and whatnot. And like make things a lot more transparent than the way it is currently, for example. Like that's one of the things I would love to like improve in terms of combat.
Yeah.
And it's not even
I know
combat.
one thing that is going to change. one thing that's going to change is if you go back to the unit card, the attack value will from now on, not in User Card 2, but in any future projects, will be the total attack value of the unit, and not the single step, which is helpful. So you don't have to do the math in your head or bring up the combat results table to see what your actual attack value is, total attack value is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
in terms of like
go ahead.
artillery and engineers and recon and so on, God, I don't know.
One
Maybe
thing.
Gary.
Thing I will definitely like. I've already talked to Tom about this. I will die on that hill. Destroyed cities will be easier to take rather than more difficult to take, because that's how it is in real life. That's how it is in real life, and that's like the single worst combat mechanic in Unity of Command. Right, so like Tom had that idea like at some point, like based on something he read, and it's well, maybe not the single worst mechanic. In my head, it is. I hate it. Right, so first and foremost, it's kind of sometimes yes, you can exploit it if you need to defend a hex. Yes, absolutely. Sometimes it's nice when the AI screws up, uses suppressive fire when it shouldn't actually do that. Actually, it's one of those things that the AI is sometimes not very good at doing. Right, so, but generally, it's annoying for the player because it's like sometimes you just like do everything right and you get a destroyed city and you're screwed. So it's not the best thing in terms of like pure gameplay. But then, oh no, I shouldn't do that. Right, so, but then it's not how it is, right? So it's much easier to take destroyed cities than it is to take intact cities, right? So because like in an intact city, you have so like that's how you do sieges. If you look at actual real sieges, right? So if you look at like the sieges of like that succeed and everything, you see destruction in Stalingrad. If you look at Stalingrad, for example, right? So which wasn't a successful siege, right? So you see like the first thing the Germans did before they even entered the city, they burned essentially all of the suburbs, all of the outlying neighborhoods, because most of those like were just wooden buildings, right? So and they just destroyed them because you don't have to fight in them. And when you have like just piles of stuff that is pretty much just a flat land, you don't have easy shelters. You don't have easy buildings that you can turn into fortifications. It's all destroyed, right? So like it's just burnt out, and most of the fighting happened in the stone brick buildings in the center of the city, right? So and like destroying those, like generally you don't want to destroy those because like it takes a crap ton of explosives, ammunition, which you often don't have. And it's also expensive, right? So in so many ways. So generally, it's not desirable to destroy everything, but like it's like sometimes the only way to actually destroy. Because like, and if you look at like cities like where there's lots of brick buildings, like which is something that the Red Army actually had to deal with when it entered Poland, especially like Germany. You have like these like with thick lots of buildings with thick walls, bricks. It's not wood, right? So like stuff that actually requires you to like use like 152 millimeters and upward and higher guns to actually destroy or penetrate and whatever. And these buildings are kind of natural fortifications. If you want to actually go past them, if you want to like get rid of the enemies actually sitting inside them, you actually need to destroy them. And that's what you eventually saw. There were a couple of sieges that were not very fast for the Red Army in Breslau and Poznan. Like, so they both took about 1 month to actually complete. And especially in Breslau, you see like a galore of all sorts of siege mechanics or siege tricks that they were using. But essentially, eventually, what actually succeeding with a siege and like destroying the German garrison in Breslau, which was already encircled and everything, it was essentially destroying the city block by block. And like just like there were special like techniques and tactics, because like they were not like destroying one block after another. They were doing like, let's destroy the block after this one, right? So like bomb it, like use like rockets and everything, then take the next block, and now we actually hold the next block, we actually fortified in it, and we can shoot across the block we destroyed into the block after it, right? So like destroying cities is good. Destroying cities is good for actually taking cities. So I'm not saying necessarily that like there shouldn't be any penalties in games, in like game-wise, but like it doesn't like, for example, absolutely there should be disruption of logistics, right? So if a city is, let's say on this map, let's say Baston is destroyed, it could easily that the railway is blocked at Baston, right? So it's destroyed. It may be easier to take than a normal city, but the railway is blocked. Because that's the usual occurrence with like destroyed cities, that like logistics, all of the infrastructure is destroyed as well. Like Königsberg is a very good example of that, right? So, but like generally, yeah.
They used in Caen.
Huh?
In Caen, or in Normandy, actually, they had a term which was putting the city in the streets, which was that's it. It's pretty descriptive. It's essentially when you bomb a city so much that it's all just a pile of rubble everywhere. And they were always discussing whether or not to do it in every case for three reasons: civilian casualties and relations with the French, and then problems of advancing afterwards, because then they would need to move in bulldozers to clear the streets, and it was a whole problem in of itself. And I'm sorry to report also the difficulty of fighting in ruins in the offensive.
It's much more difficult to fight in intact buildings. Much more difficult and much more costly.
Yeah.
That one I have very strong opinions about, like, and I
me too. But I will agree on this, though. I can agree that it's a bit overkilly, the sort of binary nature of how it is now. Like, city is basically not difficult enough, and ruined city is probably a bit too difficult.
Like it could be like another thing that I would probably love to have in terms of combat mechanics is to have more levels of fortification, right? So now you can only have like 2 levels plus whatever the scenario designer decides to introduce, like in the form of fixed fortifications, which were created essentially for like Maginot Line and stuff, right? So that's I feel like that may be a bit too. And by the way, I personally have been using like destroyed fortifications, right? So because you can actually have destroyed fixed fortifications, which provides some defense, right? So on their own, I've been using them to have this kind of an intermediate level between like the maximum possible fortification you get from entrenchment and having like proper pillboxes and stuff, right? So because like there is no intermediate level, right? So which is also kind of not great. I would love to have more.
But then
more
we're back to also
there.
the simplicity of systems, because initially we had planned to have light forest as well, because there's a hell of a lot of difference between levels of forestation and what they mean for operations.
Come on.
But then again, it moves into War in the East territory, where it's units of command is about simplifications of these really complicated things that are basically impossible to model, but we all do our best. So it's always a fight between wanting special things, and then at the same time keeping that sort of simplicity in the whole thing.
It's the fight between the good and the excellent.
It's so frustrating sometimes, because I know for me at least, sometimes you really want, or let's say you really want these many different levels of fortification, and then
I mean, like even 3 would be nice, and like say different cities, because like there is like a substantial difference. Once again, as I mentioned, there's a huge difference between fighting like in a city that has mostly wooden buildings and in a city that has mostly brick buildings. And like you can have like different, like once again, you like much like, because brick buildings are already kind of already pillboxes in a way. It's much easier to make them like turn them into defensive structures. You can turn wooden buildings into very effective defensive structures, but like ultimately they're not going to be like as durable to certain kinds of explosions and artillery, right? So so like there should be some sort of difference. Yeah, so maybe more granularity with terrain, like a little bit more granularity with terrain would be nice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yes. So like it probably means that like some people will screw up even more because the system is more complex.
Yeah. And also Goran will have to make more art assets, and then he'll kill us. So,
yeah, also that.
And Graham says, "I love Unity Command 2, and once you get into it, it's brilliant. But it definitely could be more noob friendly, in my opinion." Yes, absolutely.
Tutorials.
We were so sad when we were developing the base game that everything, as I think it always is for a small team, was sort of at the end, you're really running out of time and you don't have enough people. And one of the things we were really sad was that our tutorial, the first tutorial, was really lackluster. Eventually now we have a better one. Could still be improved, but now it's actually workable and a good introduction. But as a whole, I would agree that yes, more noob friendly would be really nice to make some softer introductions. And again, here we're also sometimes slaves to history. That is sort of there's some parts of, for instance, Italy, which could get a lot of newer players stuck, was generally because we succeeded in making Italy historical, which in Italy was rather an awful, awful campaign, especially for the Allies. So we were a bit too successful in that regard. But yes, no, and generally speaking, I agree. Little bit more new player friendliness in our next new game. And that's been brought up internally as well before this. We know this was an issue in the beginning.
Yeah, and I personally am not like a very like I've never had to learn this game because I came into this from Unity of Command 1. And if you played Unity of Command 1, it's like just same thing but like with more bells and whistles pretty much. You don't need to kind of get into the right mentality. Right, so come on. Right, so yeah, and so like I can't be a good judge. For example, sometimes like I'm suspecting I have maybe attracted some people into this game, but like I'm not a very good person to actually follow in that regard because like I like to actually like judge how it is to like how easy it is to actually get into this game because like I've never had to, right? So like, and with tutorials, yeah, I have played them, the tutorial campaign, and I can say that it's definitely too much in line with the mentality of the game, right? So it's still like too challenging, like not enough is explained, but like part of it is also like somewhat lacking UI in that regard. Like it's a bit not informative enough, right? So in terms as to the mechanics, as to the stuff that happens under the bonnet, right? So that like actually matter, that what matters actually.
Well, ideally, I would love to have like a in-game mini YouTube player.
Yeah.
Yeah, just quickly describing because the amount of time it takes to explain something using UI compared to the amount of time it takes in a short 10-second video.
Yeah, and people actually do that.
Yeah, I've seen people do it. I can't remember any specific examples, but I know I've seen it done.
I've seen like there's the game. There's the game. What's it called? Where you, like it's a recent game where you actually like it's a bit of a kind of RPG war game mix where you have I forget the name.
Headquarters?
No, not Headquarters. It's like an RPG, actual RPG where you have like actually dialogues and where you actually choose different choices and they actually kind of matter. And it's about the Normandy invasion and stuff. What was it called? I played. It has command in its name, and so like the guy. Okay, like that tutorial was kind
Master of Command.
Huh?
Master of Command?
No. Damn it, I forget. Well, all right. So anyway, so like actually the guy did like the guy, just one guy pretty much doing it. It's already like released a few months ago, right? So and that was actually he did videos in his tutorial. It actually was a bit annoying because like the tutorial was explaining things maybe not the best way possible, right? So like because the game is somewhat like the combat system is interesting but somewhat unconventional. Because it's based on like kind of the ability to like limited ability to command control units and like on morale and stuff. But the medium is there. I did not particularly like the tutorial itself because the videos were not great in my opinion. But like the idea that of having potentially videos if you like them, if you like those videos to be there. Because like if you are forced to make to watch videos to understand a game, like that's a no generally, right? So but like if there are videos that you can use if you don't understand a particular mechanic, oh, how does this mechanic work? Yeah, go ahead. Like zone of control, the zone of control works like that, right? Stuff like that, right? So
Yep. No, ideally both. You would both have a in-depth, really good tutorial, and then mixed up with videos just to if somebody finds that more easily accessible.
yeah.
Which I think I would be one of those. I never really liked tutorials in any game, and never really played them. I preferred losing to learn.
But like this game is actually where I personally kind of start. I like in the last maybe 5 or 7 years, I've grown fonder of tutorials, of reading manuals and stuff, right? So just like starting looking into it first, and like just like sometimes obviously the tutorial is gonna annoy you with, oh, you press E to rotate your camera, right? So but generally sometimes like that part ends very quickly, and sometimes you end up actually doing things that like finding out things that actually are worthwhile. Right, so it's not all completely useless. Let's put it this way, right? So, oh no, I shouldn't be doing that.
Like move your mouse to look up and down. One of those.
Yes.
Oh,
like,
thank you.
People are getting more intelligent than that. It's not like 1997 and you have to be taught to use your mouth.
No. Yeah. Jesus. Remember to inhale.
Yeah.
You have a lot of specialists in the 5th Panzer Army.
Yes, and now I don't have much supply. No, I'm screwing up in this mission. I'll probably have to F8 out again.
Let's see.
I made a mistake with Western Perimeter at the beginning, and kind of my morale screwed up. Yeah.
F8 time.
Yes.
And you're playing on hard. Did you? I don't think you've tried the new Bastonian hard.
Oh no.
I'm tempted to quote the movie 300. You're not gonna enjoy this.
No. No, I've not been playing really well. So far, and kind of already starting to snowball a bit because like maybe a bit too many losses in some places, and hard already starts punishing you for that, and I already don't have much supply.
One thing that was sort of nice while designing this
was
that you inevitably take losses in the Ardennes part of the campaign. But then if you move east in the historical way, then it's only, I think, 2 or 3 divisions that actually go with you.
Yeah.
So you can have your whole force destroyed in the Ardennes, and you're fine. You're still going to be able to complete the campaign. And if you move into the alternative history, then even with a very beat up force, you're still okay because the replacements are relatively cheap, and the missions are a bit more free flowing. So let's see.
And I feel like I'm screwed here, and I'll probably have to F8 out because I screwed myself.
Additional mechanics in this unit to command was airstrikes, air, rivers, navy assault, stragglers. What would you do to make them more interesting / balanced? Stragglers, I think, are close to perfect. I really like what they do. A lot of times I've been caught trying to get to an objective and just blasting my way through. and then they're blocking the damn roads.
Yeah, that's one of
The
the
only thing
ways.
I
Like,
wanted an air attack, which was to be like clear the roads type of thing,
yeah.
like IL-2s or P-57s coming in and just being get off the road. So
Hmm.
I would have liked to have had a mechanic to also address that mechanic in other ways. For instance, an air attack that would remove stragglers. I think
Yeah.
that would have been fun on many levels.
Yeah, stragglers are
I'm feeling,
generally fine.
yeah.
They
Then we have
work.
airstrikes. Airstrikes are okay. Let's see,
No. Oh, by
rivers,
the way,
major rivers. Oh,
airstrike's not
major
okay
rivers.
at all.
Oh, we'll come back to that. I need
Okay.
to talk about the rivers.
Thanks for
One thing
reminding
I
me.
would really like was major rivers to not have to go into your HQ to cross them or attack across them if you have that action in your HQ. I haven't quite thought out the details of how to do this because there's reasons why it can't just be click. But I'm certain there's a better way of doing that because right now it's too clunky. And also the penalties might be a bit on the rough side for major river crossings.
What do you mean? Like
But that's not.
you mean like not requiring the player to have this ability to actually be able to the pontoon bridge
Yes,
ability to actually cross major rivers?
yes, or even just the way you have to move I don't know. Like for instance, now you have to move up to the major river. Then you have to have the ability unlocked. Then you have to open the HQ. Then you have to click the button in the HQ. Then you have to click the unit, click across the river. It's all too clunky right now. And I'm 100% sure it can be streamlined a bit while still keeping minor and major rivers. But yeah, that's something I would like to improve.
Yeah, I
And you
can
said something about air attacks.
Air attacks suck. Air attacks suck. As simple as that. They essentially the problem is, and I think like Tom agrees with me because I talked with him about that. Essentially, the problem is that with air attacks is that the role is stupid. It's like really basic thing. As far as I know, like Tom just like thought of it, like just put it in the game and forgot about it pretty much. Like did not give it too much thought. And essentially, what you have, if you don't know how like air attack works, it's 1d6, and every result is some sort of a result. Right, so you have like one, like for 6 you get 2 kills, for 5 you get 1 kill, for 4 you get, I think like it was 3 suppression, and then like
the dream result, yes.
right, so like the best part, like 3 suppression is the best bit, not even 2 kills generally.
Yes.
Right, so
No.
and then you have like all of the other results, and like I think like 50-50, like 1 through 3 it's nothing. Right, so and all of those additional like modifiers that you see and hate in this game, right? So they essentially increase, like reduce the number of that you get mostly. Like sometimes they increase, you just generally don't get that luck, right? So they decrease the number you roll, and so like essentially every -1 to your modifier increases your chance of not getting anything by 16%, essentially, right? So and the thing is that it's a dumb roll. It's like a flat roll with nothing, right? So you have like a bunch of outcomes and everything. But if you roll, for example, 2d6, you have a bell curve, right? So you have a lot of opportunities to actually get 7 with 2d6, right? So like 7, you get like, I don't know, 56% of the time, right? So, but like it's very rare to get 12 or 2, and it's 3%, right? So roughly like 1 in 12 roll, like very few, right? So 1 in 36, I think, right? So, but 7 you get a lot. If you've played Catan, you know what I'm talking about, right? So, and like you have 6 and 8. 6 and 8s are very common, but like maybe slightly rarer. And then you've got 4 and 9s that kind of like already. And there you can actually create an interesting balance. For example, you can have like 1 suppression on, and you can have modifiers. Say without modifiers, 1 suppression for 7. Right, so 6 or 8, you can actually have maybe 1 kill or maybe 2 suppression. But like really nice ones, like 3 suppression, You might actually have on like 2 and 12, but somewhere you will also have nothing. But it's not very high. You get something out of it. Because like one of the biggest problems also with air attack is that even with without any negative, without any penalties, or with just -1, you don't get much happening with air attacks. You very often get nothing, and it's by design, right? So it's
Yeah,
really
and I also
annoying. It's not
find that
pleasant. It's not fun to have.
no, true. There is a bit of RNG that can be too much here. I would agree with
Yeah,
that.
and it's
But
50-50,
also,
even
it's sort
without
of a yeah,
modifiers.
and I would argue that it's not meant to be used in single strikes as it is now in the
Yeah,
game. I never once I have a single airstrike, I'm like, oh, that's a nice chance to something happening, but I won't. I don't use it for planning. If I use airstrikes for a plan, I never go. I need two to
yeah,
get any sort of feeling of predictability in there. Which is why I was so happy when we added the well, first of all, that we had the saturation strikes, but then for Blitzkrieg we added the flying artillery,
yeah.
which is a really nice tool. Also to lower frustration levels because it is also kind of get out of jail free card.
It's pretty much guaranteed result. That's kind of the
Yeah,
best part.
and suppression, full suppression.
Yeah,
Speaking of history earlier, one of the things I was happy to get in because the Stukas weren't very known for killing anything,
yeah.
but they were quite well known to suppress stuff and killing logistics. And with the limitations of our mechanics, suppression was a sort of nice abstraction of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I'm getting tired, but I do want to see you play at least the first turn here
Yeah,
because
yeah. I think it's.
I want to have a
good.
giggle.
Yeah, I think the first turn is going to be all right. I have a slightly beat up force, but I have like a ton of
Yeah.
specs I can't use properly. But
Right.
let me just give everyone something. Let me just.
I like your use of the red artillery though. The
This one,
Volks Artillery Corps, the one by Manhay.
oh yes, I found it the hard way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, good positioning of it there.
Yes, it's an easy way to take money. Money,
Right.
it's probably called what it's called. But like yeah, it's a good way to actually deal with it on turn 1, and you want to deal with it on turn 1. Right, so
Oh yes, once they start digging in, it's a nightmare.
yeah. And that's one of the problems with airstrikes. Yeah, like the airstrikes need to be kind of tweaked substantially, in my opinion, to make them fun to play with. Just fun to play with, because like often also like I've seen people actually complain about like airstrikes, like AI airstrikes playing by different rules. Right, so like that AI always like gets kills and suppressions, and you get squad. Right, so that's not how it is. Like in this game, the AI plays by exactly the same rules as you do. But the problem is that whenever you use, or the player uses, the airstrike, in most cases, it's to deal with a problem. Right, so you can't reach some sort of a place. You cannot take some sort of a location, like maybe a city. And you need to give it a little bit of an oomph, and you use airstrikes to kind of maybe increase your chances of taking that place. Sometimes you just can't do it properly, right? So, and you use airstrikes as a crutch, right? So the thing is that like when you use it as a crutch, in most cases, it's already a terrible situation to attack in. So you get are very likely to have penalties, like for attacks to begin with, and so your attacks will be inefficient, right? So by definition, so situationally. And the thing is, with AI, on the other hand, the AI wants to kill your best units. That's what it does always. You can actually
you need to hide them.
Yes. By the way, in Berlin, there's like a lot. Like one of the people actually did not like about it is that Kursk as well, and I love having this. So the AI has air attacks, right? So and it will kill your tanks, right? So if you leave them in open terrain, if you leave them in places where the AI sees them, because once again the AI plays by the same rules, it doesn't see everything. We see everything because we are the developers, but like the AI does not see everything, and so, yes, you need to kind of play around this. And like, I've seen people actually who have realized. I'm pretty happy to see that like people actually giving tips. Like, yeah, keep your units away from the AI. Keep them in difficult terrain so that the AI actually gets penalties, air attack penalties, or you will be destroyed. And so the AI seeks to destroy your best units. That's its goal. Your goal is to achieve objectives, and sometimes objectives are in terrible terrain that you cannot deal with easily with planes. That's the reason. That's the reason your air attacks don't work that well, and that's the only reason. It's not even your fault, generally.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's the whole crutch of the matter. You nailed it.
Yeah,
it's looking to just hurt your best unit, and that's if you leave your best unit in clear terrain, the chances are it's gonna get hurt.
yeah.
No. Let's see here. We're still on turn 1.
Actually,
I have a slight delay in the
I
screen.
managed to take Martian Manet on turn 1, but
I saw.
like,
that far I have seen. There's a slight
I hate this
15-second delay.
I don't know what you did to Denant. Because
no. It's oh yeah. I can't
you can
wait
still
to watch
do
it.
the trick. You can still do the trick.
Can I still do the trick here?
clever
Yeah,
trick.
probably.
Okay.
But let's see. I'm so sad I'm not live. Well, I'm live, but I'm not. There's a
Controlling the game.
Yeah, it's 15-second delay watching. What's happening.
Let me just see. And I can't change latency, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
at this point. All right.
So I'll hear your laughs or screams before I see.
Let me just see
what's happening.
But
you didn't upgrade. No. There's a nice thing there with 6th Panzer Army. If you have the Operations 3, then you can bomb the crap out of those paratroopers by the river.
You mean these guys, right?
Yeah, up by north of the 6th Panzer Army HQ. Yeah, some paratroopers with loads of artillery.
Yeah, I don't have the Operations 3,
unfortunately.
You don't have
the operations, yeah.
So,
because I found that sort of in all the later DLCs since, I don't know, almost since Blitzkrieg, the sort of suppressive fire has been pushed into the background. I sometimes forget to use it, especially as the Germans.
And sometimes it's really good. Also, by the way, in Berlin, it's like absolutely brilliant because it's actually one of the, like, it's kind of revealed that like in Berlin, one of the things we did is give Soviet units like 2 or mostly 3 for infantry, 3 specialists, but kind of weakened the specialists. So, and many people, and it's very often that we actually the specialists got the attack and defense weakened, halved, pretty much halved. But very often that we halved the shifts, artillery shifts, tank shifts, and everything. But we because those numbers are pretty low, we usually halved them and rounded up. And so those specs were ended up pretty damn strong. So artillery is you can actually accumulate artillery in your best units, in the units where you are supposed to break through, as it happened in real life, right? So, and you can actually do those suppressive fires that can actually do stuff, that actually can do force suppression and stuff, like ships, right? So, and that is very possible. And in Berlin, there are Bagration is a very good example of that, where you have fuck.
Yes.
Yes.
Even though I'm not live, I'm still and
I'm screwed. And now Dinant is probably out of my reach. Although maybe I will do a little. Yeah, so yes, suppressive fire still is in the game, and it's it kind of works, especially if you have missions where there's a lot of still field battles, right? So where you're not
Yes.
like fighting for like very difficult terrain in or cities or whatnot.
Yeah, no, it's mostly the cities, and then if anything is entrenched in something that's not clear terrain, then that's sort of the usefulness drops off a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? They killed my paratroopers. Oh god.
Okay.
Oh, they did not kill them. Yeah, I actually in
Oh,
this
yeah, no,
case like suppressive fire would have been great.
Yep.
And now I'm stuck with.
Oh, it is. It's sort of also because a lot of people, I don't know if maybe I should have put this in a HQ tip somewhere. Or I find that upgrading operations is more useful than usually in German DLCs. It's getting to the oversupply is like the golden ticket.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's still useful here, but I find it much less useful because it costs 100 prestige. And even once you unlock it, it's also 4 command points, so quite expensive in command points. Whereas
Yeah.
getting that operations level 3 with suppressive fire, I find, personally at least, is more useful.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, my mission is already screwed up.
But you
Right.
could I'm getting a bit tired.
Yeah, it's
Let's
getting
see, but
late.
you can maybe load up one of the alt history, one of the crazy ones.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, so I'm just looking at it's very difficult for me to actually follow the chat.
Chat, yeah, let's see
If
here.
there was
He just
anything
says that
interesting in there. It's also like my
right now it's the airstrike thing, and let's see, last thing, Tajiki Jab saying, "I'm not angry that repeatedly bombing unit will lose some steps. However, one attack dealing a devastating result, especially since it's not impossible to defend or hide your units. Well, true, it's not possible to defend. You can dig in. It adds lowers the risk of casualties, and you can actually hide your units.
Yeah.
Because the AI is
2 or
not
3
all
hexes
seen.
away from the front line and doesn't see it.
Yeah. So that's one thing you can do, but I do agree that it can be frustrating when your best unit is hit, and then three KIA or something, and some really expensive specialist buys the dirt. It's that's not a happy experience.
Yeah. Okay, so where should I go?
What should we do?
I'm not gonna touch Val because I'm interested because I haven't seen the latest version of it. So I probably saw it like the version of it from September or something. I didn't have to test it.
I mean, the idea is the same, but otherwise,
let me just run Portugal. And
Portugal,
because it has lots of weirdness in it, and I made it, so I can show off, or maybe not.
No, Portugal. Let's go with that.
I haven't seen Portugal since September, roughly, because it pretty much really worked well. Nobody complained about it, and why change if it works all right? Okay. Ooh, let's see. By the way, and by the way, sexy Spanish tanks.
Oh yes, we have new models here.
So we've got a nice T-26.
Yeah.
Straight from Moscow, 41. Because it definitely was created for it. Oh, no, it was for Barbarossa.
Zoom mod.
What?
And you have the zoom mod.
Yeah. I used it even from way before because it allows you to actually record videos for runtime map if it's big. By the way, as you can see, there was nothing in Spain. I personally actually had to add small bits around Guarda, and there is a reason why there is more Portugal than this. The Portugal extends to Vigo is already in Spain, but extends to here, right? So we didn't have it, and I couldn't be asked to actually do it to make the map. So and also the mission is already big enough, so I kept it smaller. Right, so, and a bunch of things had to be added because otherwise, it was just barren terrain. So, mostly I added stuff at the edges, but Spain mostly is empty, as you can see. But this amount of mapping is manageable, right? So we can actually do it, especially if it's something that is going to show up in multiple scenarios.
Yeah, because it's also like this close to the coastline is always nice to have some points of reference. Once you move inland, it gets progressively worse the further you go.
Yeah.
But here, like, this is not a big area, and it's also close to the coast, so it's not that awful.
Damn it! I
Also,
forget
one of the
everything
things
about
that's
it.
actually kind of awful to work with is the slowness of our big map, because it's bigger than it was ever meant to be, basically.
Yeah.
So loading and saving and pushing updates into the into builds and stuff, it just takes forever. So if you want to, I don't know, fix one mountain that's bugged, the whole process takes like an hour
Yeah.
just for one hex, which is
All right. And by the way, as you can see, you can eliminate Churchill in this game as well.
Oh yes.
And Churchill means
Oh
the
dear.
guy, not the tank.
Yeah.
Right, so I think
Does he actually have a Churchill specialist on him? That would have been fun.
he actually may have a Churchill specialist because he sits around here.
Yeah.
But yeah, you pretty much just need to kill a unit, like a kind of a paratrooper unit. It actually might have a Churchill specialist. It definitely has some specialist. Like, damn it, I haven't seen this scenario in a while, so I have no clue what to do. Or roughly, I have a clue what to do because you remember when a mission actually clicks together, you remember it.
Yeah, it's also one of the luxuries about if you have a bit extra time developing something, is if you then make a scenario and then just move away from it, forget all about it, and then come back to it. Because then you're sort of able to look at it more as a player, actually almost discovering it, and then spotting what's annoying and what's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of new stuff, we added the Spanish trucks, tanks, which look really good. Kudos to Goran. And then we also added the Portuguese.
Oh yeah.
They're not that sort of.
How many games have Portuguese, like World War II Portuguese troops?
Yes, exactly. That's a rare occurrence. The only thing I can think of is Hearts of Iron 4. Otherwise, I think it's a unicum. And what else? I know there was a lot. We added for Comfortable Piper, we added the winter camouflage Panther. And I know there's we reskinned all the Swiss to have a more Axis look, because Switzerland, spoiler alert, joins the Axis here. And God, there's probably more, but my brain is shorting out. It's been a couple of hours now.
We did not add any Italians because Italians had a bunch of stuff already, and there's going to be Italian units as well. So because it's Frank made a couple of scenarios, so it has to be Italians. So, and obviously it's like they're mostly in the south of France, which makes sense. Right, so like the two scenarios that Frank made were in Bordeaux and Marseille, so like the south of France. So yeah, so if you're interested in Italian stuff, you'll get some Italian stuff.
Oh, and Graham is saying, what are the stats on the Churchill specialist? Automatic no retreat orders. Jokes aside, we could actually have done that, because if you give it just its own HQ and then only have it have that ability. So
actually, funny you ask that. Funny you ask that. Actually, I suspect that the unit that you are supposed to kill, because obviously it's not like a dude sitting somewhere, right? So it's a unit. It's a paratrooper unit that is like some sort of a like escort unit that like supports Churchill, right? So walks around him and defends him, right? So you're supposed to kill that unit, and the unit might be static. You can actually set units in the scenario designer, you can actually set units to be static, and so the AI will not move them, right? So, and that unit might actually be static.
Yeah,
because
we should be if it's an objective. Could
Yeah.
you imagine doing this without the ability to make units static? Because that was the
Oh,
case up until the 7th DLC or so,
oh
something like
God.
that.
Oh God.
There was no way to make the AI just sit still. So it would be, in Monte Cassino or something and just leave the mountain because reasons.
Yeah. No, like I mean, like once again, like I still hate the AI not being able to retreat. That's like, yeah, by the
Yeah.
way, no retreat orders are like for all of AI units by default, and it's impossible to change, pretty much. The AI cannot retreat. So that's kind of my biggest beef with it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like there are so many, like once again, making Berlin, that was like one of the worst areas of like actually making scenarios for it, is that like you have like trillions of encirclements that you actually create, right, for the Germans. And like when the AI just sits there, and like one of the things that make AI like not want to move its units is entrenchment
Oh
and
yes.
difficult terrain. If it's a unit that is entrenched by default and is in difficult, like in the forest, the AI is never going to move it. It's like never,
Yep.
ever, ever. And imagine, like,
Yeah.
right, so like the initial like defense line. Yes, it makes sense. Oh, 2 entrenchment levels, like maybe even destroyed like permanent defenses, and then like it's forests, right? So it makes every bit of sense, right? So and then the player like breaks through somewhere else, blocks supply, and those dudes just sit there and don't do anything, right? And then they die. So you can't
Yeah.
really like work around it. That's easy. Like sometimes you can work around it a little bit, but it's still, you can't do it very convincingly. It's like generally it's always workarounds. Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
of the things
Yeah.
like the AI is not good for, and that's what, like, if it ever gets to Unity of Command 3, there is another game that like uses the same system. I get a voice in any of that, I will like I will agitate for changing that, because like it's
Yeah. There's one of the problems is it's kind of trivial to make the AI. I'm not going to use the C word here, but to make the AI really annoying and good, that's kind
yeah.
of easy. The problem is also making it fun.
Oh yeah.
Because, for instance, my favorite example is always I once gave the AI 1 command point feint attacks
Yeah.
as the Soviets in Stalingrad. And
Mm.
what it did was it perfectly cycled no,
Yeah.
nine,
Yeah.
9 feint attacks to a fortified elite German full strength 2 specs unit and just whittled him down to nothing and then moved in for the kill.
Yeah.
And that's sort of AI in a nutshell. That
Yeah.
it's one of those careful what you wish for sort of things.
No,
But
like,
yes, having some of these things improved, absolutely. Yes.
yeah, like
Retreats.
it's also, like one thing is kind of designing things to be a certain way, right? So
Mhm.
like having the right tools is the question, right? So we like
Yeah.
just don't have the tool of making the AI retreat, right? So because if we have the tool of making the AI retreat, and if the AI retreats way too well, right, so you can
Mhm.
actually adjust it already, like through other means, like making the AI weaker, for example, so that it cannot easily
Mhm.
break out of encirclements because it doesn't have the power, right? So
Yeah.
so there is like, if you have the capability, if you have the mechanical capability, it's already much better, and then you can actually
Yeah.
like work with making it fun as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Oh,
Okay, I'm
and
just
yeah. Oh,
fixing.
yeah. By the way, I just thought
Yeah.
random thing. ADHD moment. We had what's it called? Volkssturm specialist. We actually added a new
Oh
specialist.
yeah.
It doesn't do anything special. It's just a funny little touch.
Oh yeah.
uh,
I actually,
they
yeah.
have.
It's in the shops. It's one of the things that I actually, you know what? Let me just I just realized that I want
Oh,
to
you
show
can
it
load
off.
up Berlin or something.
Yeah, I can actually, because it's not in Berlin the mission. I cannot show it in the
Mm.
single scenario. I can show it in the campaign because it's in the
Oh,
shop. So I'll just show the mission. I think it's going to be a very good time to end this because I'm already getting tired, and I'm also Daniel's has been getting tired for the last hour, and it's like there's still stuff to do. There's still stuff to do. Right? Let me just once again reveal some of the magic powers we have as developers. Right, let me just end everything and oh yes, this is how I got my gold medals.
But you don't get the achievements when you cheat with F8. Sorry, the milestones. Milestones don't turn it. They don't trigger in the menu. The list of completed milestones.
Well, that's the reason they exist.
Let's see. Oh yes, we have the.
Oh yes, Dicky Shab. It's like sometimes you get screwed. Sometimes you cannot tie your units. Sometimes you come under fire and die. That's the reality of things. Sometimes you have to roll with the punches.
Yeah, especially here the King Tigers and the Sturm Tigers, the Sturmmoser things. They're all in the first round of what do you call it? First in the lost queue.
Yeah.
So be prepared.
All right, I'm not gonna show Sonnenwende, whatever. Yeah, let's just go straight into Berlin. I'll just show you the mission, and show you the wonderful shop in it that people ultimately enjoyed, I think, because we've had testers and
I think so,
they did not suffer too much.
Well, let's see.
All right, so I have billion trillion prestige. So the whole point is that it's the birthday of you-know-who. There is a party at the Reichschancellery bunker. And so, yes, and the Soviet tanks are almost in Berlin. So the first Soviet units actually appeared in Berlin on April 21st. So April 20th. And so it's already all of those defenses we've been building for 2 months are already broken. It's all done. It's all destroyed. The operation is progressing wildly, and this is the Steiner counterattack, by the way. Right. So and obviously I don't have God View mode right now, so there are more units that the Soviet Red Army actually has, and so you have to hold things, not lose Berlin. You've got all these objectives, not lose too many troops. I love this type of objective. So, yes, try to avoid losses. You've got, hint, hint, this Hubei pocket that is already a pocket here because, hello, no supply. And, this is a way to lose a lot of steps. And these objectives are telling you don't lose steps. Right, so that's a little tip. And shops. And because I really wanted for the player to actually, this doesn't really make sense. If this is in the middle of an operation, already a very active mobile battle, and you can actually buy stuff. We usually don't have this. We don't have the ability to actually buy stuff and rearrange your troops in these kinds of situations. We usually don't have it. But I really wanted the player to actually have at least one mission because Sonnenwende doesn't have this. But in Berlin, you can actually buy stuff. And we have 50 volt Volkssturm for $5. Right, so it's 1 attack, 1 defense, 1 armor. Had it been for it's questionable, but it's okay. So having one defensive armor, it's all right. You can actually flood your units with Volkssturm. And the thing is that even one spec like that, it's very powerful actually. Even with 1 attack, 1 defense, it's very powerful because if you lose someone, that's the spec that will die. Probably it goes first in defense. I don't remember what it was. So if you add, let me just see where it is. Yeah, it's the first guys who die, right? So it's a way
in both directions, I think.
Huh?
Yeah.
In both directions.
In both offense and defense, I think.
Yeah, so it's essentially your screen for your main troops, for the good ones. Well, okay, so these defense zone D guys, right? So they're also terrible, not much better than the Volkssturm, right? So almost the same. But essentially, we had some of this in Desert Fox, where there were some I think black shirts who were terrible infantry specs, right? So, but you can actually use them as padding and like giving like you can lose them, or recons with cheap in
cheap recon.
desert rats, also that, right? So this kind of version of that, you can actually flood your depending on how much prestige you have, you can flood your billion with Volksturm and like hope for the best, right? So that's the thing that you have. That's the thing you could actually use. So there's a little hint. There's a little hint for you. I guess I'm not gonna play this mission. It's vast. Let me just press the button. I'm not gonna do anything and see what the AI just does. Yeah, I don't have any air attacks. By the way, air battles continued during the Battle of Berlin, so it was very active. It makes every bit of sense historically. So Sonnenwende mission is kind of a mirror image of the what was it called? The East Pomerania mission in Berlin, because it's the same events.
Yeah.
Right, so, but it's also kind of in the vein of Disaster on the Volga. You need to survive. You're not gonna wipe the map. Probably not on easy on recruit. Well, but that's your problem.
Yeah, if you carry in only red specs on those 2 units that carry over and min-max everything to hell. But yeah, no, it's I enjoy Berlin a lot. I also enjoy Sonnenwende. I'm thinking now. Actually, I don't know if I have a favorite. I like both of them.
But yeah,
they're a really nice change of pace from the Western Front after being there for 5 scenarios.
Yeah. So, yeah, but like the whole point was like to with the historical branch is, yes, in the old history we have wacky stuff, we have essentially like impossible things, right? So but with historical, essentially, if you want to have these battles like work like history, right? So you can actually do it in this DLC. You can play the Ardennes historically, so not go beyond what was achieved historically in the Ardennes. You can actually do it in Nordwind, Operation Nordwind, right? So you can actually not go beyond certain point. But it's still possible to achieve historical outcome and succeed in that mission, right? So and bang, and go to the historical branch and do like roughly the historical thing, and maybe like lose Berlin after the mission, not right now.
Yeah.
But as you can see, so this is already like turning into a massive disaster, and I already lost one of the objectives unless you do something, and you cannot do much. But this is Disaster on the Volga again, and that mission was brilliant. That mission actually changed a lot in this game because it wasn't something you had seen before, right? So because you have to.
That one was a gamble. I remember.
You thought that it wouldn't work?
Yeah, in the beginning you didn't really know. It was sort of trial and error, and then suddenly the AI just did things. I'm like, oh, you can actually do it like this. It's one of the advantages of working on a game, having the luxury of working on a game for so long, the same game also, is you can really learn new stuff. And I'm sure if we kept working on it for 4 years, we would learn even more stuff that you can do. It's
well, I suspect there is a limit, more or less, like effective limit of what you can actually do with it, because we're kind of already hitting a lot of things that we can use special like tricks that we know, that like the ways the AI works, like to make the AI do things that it never was intended to do. But like essentially we are going to hit a ceiling, like as I said with retreats. If you don't have retreats, you're severely limiting what you can actually do in a battle, right? So
but even there's if you create, let's say, okay, now this might be getting a bit technical and boring for people listening, but if you create objective hints in the rear with beam, with the beam hint also activated, that can do a lot of heavy lifting. Maybe
sometimes
not perfect retreat. Yeah, but it is like you say, it is.
It's not excellent against once again like those units that like the AI believes should be static, right? So entrenched in good terrain and stuff like that, it like doesn't work against those.
Those are really they need heavy-handed treatment, and then once you
come on.
provide heavy-handed treatment for them, then it breaks other stuff, and it's this whole yeah.
The AI is a prick.
Ugh.
Um,
But anyway, the Ardennes DLC is out now.
yeah,
Please go buy it.
absolutely. Absolutely, go
We
check it out.
promise it's fun.
Yes, yes, it's good.
And yeah, now my voice is tired. I'm tired. I'm also a bit sick.
Oh,
Wine,
oh
wine,
no.
wine. But yeah, I'm
yeah.
ready to call it a day.
Yeah, let's just call it a day. I'm slightly tired of myself, as you can see. I'm kind of very
Yeah.
sloppy with play. Like I'm just letting the AI do like the destruction of Berlin and everything, right? So I'm kind of tired already, and myself. And so like first and foremost, as Dan said, like just go check out like the DLC. It's good. It's good. If you enjoyed like other stuff in this in this game, right? So you like it's going to up your alley. Like maybe some people would not like the alternative history scenarios. Just play those as like potentialities or like a chance to actually move interesting units around new terrain that he will never explore
Having
otherwise.
some good wearable fantasies. We have all the sexy German stuff in this one.
Exactly. You're not gonna get to control Swiss units in other games, right? So it's fun. Also, if you are like, if you just buy DLCs and like this DLC especially, it'll be much and you are interested in maybe there being more DLCs for Unity of Command 2. Just get this new DLC because like yes, if it does well, we probably might have a decent argument, decent way to convince 2x2 to actually let us do more DLCs in the future, because well, yes. Because there are ideas, and we've already discussed those, and I feel like some of those ideas are really nice, but not Pacific.
Yeah. Not Pacific.
No.
And we'll have a fight to the death over the ruined cities. So tune in next time.
All right. Let's end the stream.
Okay, guys.
As I lose Berlin, and I guess let's let me just press the button. Bye, guys.
Okay, bye everyone.
And okay.